That's just how we roll. You know what it is, what it is. How we roll. You know what it is, what it is. That's just how we roll.
Hey, welcome back to my personal YouTube channel. Come on in, get comfortable. Life is happening at home with Golden Bronze. I am so excited you're here with me tonight. This is going to be a fabulous 2026 because I am doing a couple of things. I'm doing 2 podcasts. I am doing the radio podcast, 2 YouTube podcasts, and the radio podcast is on 6 radio stations, and a whole lot of interesting things. I'm going to be doing some traveling and blogging and sharing that with you. This space here is going to be all about life, love, laughter, growth, healing, and real joy. And it might even be some pain off in there. It all depends because it's about my life at home with Golden Bronze. And I'm inviting you to come along with me as I continue this beautiful journey called life. One day I woke up and I'm like, you know what? I'm in the last hall. Hopefully that's going to last 30 years, but I'm in the last hall. And there is a lot of things that I haven't done on my to-do list over there. So I need to start getting to it. I can't wait for some knight in shining armor to come along and take the journey with me. So I decided to take the journey along. And you know what? I decided to take you along with me on the journey. Here at home with Golden Bronze, you will see real moments, meaningful conversations, fun times with amazing friends, and the everyday blessings that make my life full and fulfilling. You'll see some times with grandkids and children, and maybe the neighborhood grocer, who knows? If I feel like recording my conversation with them, I will, especially if it's fun and entertaining. I, Golden Bronze, am blessed. I'm surrounded by incredible people who love me, support me, laugh with me, and sometimes they laugh at me, and they celebrate life with me. And now we can get to share all that together. Keep in mind, this is a safe space, positive, uplifting space where we grow, reflect, enjoy life, maybe cry sometimes, who knows, and embrace every season with gratitude and grace. Whether we're talking, traveling, and I hope to be doing a lot of that, laughing, learning, or just being present and silly, you'll be a part of my family now, and we will share that together. So get comfortable. Go to YouTube over there, hit subscribe, hit the notification button, and take this journey with me. Every time I go live, you'll be notified if you hit that notification button because the best is yet to come. And I'm so glad you're here because there are a lot of things that I want to share. One of the things that I thought I would talk about today, and normally I would have someone here sharing in the conversation with me, but I was sitting up thinking, should you go after whatever it is you want in life as long as it doesn't belong to someone else? I'm not talking about necessarily a man or a woman, but things, desires of your heart, things that you have always wanted to do or to buy or places to go. I've always thought about that. So, hey, family, if you're looking for good vibes and real life vibes, you're right at home here with At Home with Golden Bronze. And today's conversation is a simple one. but it's a powerful one. It's something I think we all wrestle with sometimes in different stages of our life, no matter our age, background, or experiences. So for me, that's exactly what it was. I spent the majority of my life working and working and working, working, working. And when I say working, I wasn't just working one job, I was working two, sometimes three. And I did that not just because I loved to work, which I did love what I was doing. I loved being a nurse and I loved being a realtor. And then somewhere in there, I decided to start another business, which was a virtual assistant business. Then later on, I got into podcasting, TV, and radio. And I loved all of that. But early in life, the first 20 plus, it was a necessity. And there's a lot of things that I wanted to do that I put on hold. My hair's in my face. I'm sorry. Because I had two daughters and they needed a lot of things and they needed an education. And I seemed to be the only one to help them obtain their goals. So I hunkered down and I did what any loving parent would do. I made it happen for them. But before I knew it, I was 50, and 50 went really quickly. And I thought, wow, time is flying by. My life is almost over. There are so many things left for me to do. I have a whole laundry list, and I've not had time to do it. And one of the things that I did that I wished I hadn't done is I forgot to live my life while I was making sure everybody else's life was good. And I tell my daughters now, you can do that simultaneously. Now, of course, when I first started nursing, there was not travel nursing. There became travel nursing uh, 10 years into when I was a nurse, but by that time, I had two daughters that I had to take care of that were in school. So it didn't afford me the opportunity to travel around, and traveling was something that I always wanted to do. But now these young kids can work remotely just about anywhere to do anything. Even if they're a cosmetologist, uh, they can be a mobile one. Uh, if they're a massage therapist, they can be a mobile one. And so I tell my children and grandchildren now, don't forget to live while you're working. Don't forget that's part of living. That's what I didn't do. And now that half of my life is over, I'm doing it unapologetically. They're grown, grandkids are taken care of. It's my time now. So the topic is, should you go for whatever you want in life? Absolutely. As long as it doesn't belong to someone else, and as long as you're not hurting anyone else, and it's your life we're talking about. No one can live that for you, and no one can die that one for you. So just don't forget to live while you're doing all this working, and then you won't have to catch up. But right now, that's what I'm doing. So when I say, should you go for whatever you want? Yes, not what people expect from you. See, these things are what I did. I did a lot of what was expected of me. Sometimes I wanted to because I wanted to please people. I had that kind of wanting to make everybody happy personality. But I think that people shouldn't expect for you to always do what they want you to do. So, yeah, go for what you want and not what people expect from you, not what looks safe, not what makes others comfortable. That has to be within you. It has to feel safe for you. It has to be what you expect of yourself, and it has to make you comfortable. And it has to be what you want. And I think when I was growing up, those things weren't told to me. A lot of them were do as I say do, not as I did. And that's not how I raised my children. When I sent them off to college, it was like, what do you want to do? Back when I went to college, it was, you're going to college to, do this, or to school to do this or that, you know. And me and my girlfriends, we kick it around. And I'm thinking it is because of the era that our parents grew up in. That dream that keeps tapping on you, that's tapping on your shoulder, that's what you should do. That idea that keeps circling back around to you, that's what you should do. That version of your life you imagine when no one else is watching, let's talk about it. Honestly, gently, and without pressure. Most of us don't wake up one day suddenly asking this question. We think about it all through life. It usually shows up after a season of disappointment, a big life change, loss, healing, or even growth, or realizing you've been living on autopilot, like me, for all those years, just living on autopilot. And at some point, you pause and think, is this it? Is this all there is to life? Because trust me, that's exactly what what I thought. Um, is my life just getting up, going to work every day, paying bills, taking care of other people? Yeah, those things come to mind. And that doesn't mean your life is bad. It just means you're becoming aware of life. A lot of us were taught to be realistic. Don't want too much. Don't rock the boat. Be grateful and stay quiet. That's how I was raised. And again, I think that's the era that I grew up in. And gratitude is important, but gratitude doesn't mean settling for life. You can be thankful and want more. And again, like I said, I'm not blaming my parents because I think that's how they were raised. You know, back then people were raised to get an education, get a job, and keep it for 40 years and retire. And so they passed that on to my generation. My generation turned around and told their children, go get whatever it is you want in life as long as you're getting it ethically, morally, and legally, and you're not hurting anybody and it doesn't belong to anybody else. So that's the differences in generations. So let's clear something up here. Going for whatever you want in life doesn't mean being reckless, hurting other people, chasing things to prove something, or running from responsibility. That's not what I'm saying. Sometimes going for it looks very, very quiet. It's moving in silence. And I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be right back. Going for whatever you want look like going back to school, starting over emotionally, moving to a new place, which is what I chose to do, leaving a situation that no longer fits, choosing peace over people pleasing. That's another option that I chose. When you say, I'm going for it means honoring your inner voice. It does not mean being reckless, hurting others, chasing things to prove a point, being irresponsible. It does not mean that at all. It is that inner voice, the one that says, this matters to me. I have always, always, always wanted to do this. Now is the opportunity. I'm running out of time because life is lifing, but I have an opportunity now. And even if you're not middle aged, or senior, you're 20, 30, 40, you've gotten your college education or whatever, you can still do this. These principles still apply. You say it matters to you. You want more alignment. You want joy. You don't want to just be surviving. Because I promise you, I woke up one day, I said, I have most everything that I want right now. I'm missing some things, and I know what that is as well. And if you have things, but you're missing something and you know what it is, you need to go get it. If that's all it is, you can look around and say, what good is all of this if I'm not doing what I want? I'm going through the motions. And there will be people that will discourage you for selfish reasons. They are living their lives the way they want to live their lives, and they don't take into consideration what you're saying about their life. It's their life. And many times they will say, it's my life. Let me live it. Or I'm living my life. Go live yours. And then when you make that move to go live your life, it's like, hold up. I just said that I don't really want you to do that for whatever reason, you know? And they're not paying for your lifestyle or having to pick up the pieces. They're not there to do that. So, you know, if you feel like you're just surviving, and I don't mean struggling, I mean surviving. The routine is the same day in and day out. Nothing changes. It's the same when you get up every single freaking day. Then make changes. You don't have to just survive, live. And I don't know why people think that's you're being different. Yeah, I guess so. Because I decided to quit just surviving and I decided to go live. And that shouldn't hurt anybody. Of course, keep in touch with people if you move away to another state or another country. Let people know how you're doing and share your life. That's why I'm doing At Home with Golden Bronze. But there's always a little fear, but fear will always have an opinion. So do not let fear stop you from living, because God did not give us the spirit of fear. Let's be real. Fear is loud, makes a lot of noise in your head. Fear will say, what if you fail? What if people judge you for doing it? What if it doesn't work out? What if you waited too late? All those things will pop into your head. But here's the truth that I've learned. Fear doesn't disappear when you're ready. It disappears when you're brave enough to move anyway. Let me repeat that, because a lot of people don't understand that. Fear doesn't disappear when you're ready. So you're like, oh, I'm ready now, I'm not afraid. No, it disappears when you're brave enough to act on it, to move anyway. My mother had this saying, and I'm sure she's not the only one. Again, it was probably her generation, but failure, how does she put that? Only thing that beats failing is you're not trying. Nothing beats failure but not trying. You will fail if you don't try, because you'll never know. And you know what? If whatever it is you want to do, if it's something that you want and you try and it fails, at least you tried. That's kudos for you. You tried, and trying means more than not trying. Fear is not a stop sign. Sometimes it's just proof that you're standing at the edge of growth. It might be a pause. You might be right at the edge of the cliff. That's it. You didn't fail. You're at the edge of growth. You don't need to be all fearless. You just need to feel willing to try. Whatever it is that you want to go for, you need to be willing to make the attempt to try. You are always allowed to change your mind. What is that old saying? Women are allowed to change their minds. Anybody's allowed to change their minds. One of the biggest lies we believe is, if I choose this, I'm stuck. Well, let me just put it to you like this way. No, you're not. If you marry the wrong person, do you stay? Do you feel stuck or do you get out? You get out. Divorce rates are so high. Maybe some of us need to stay and work on it a little bit, but realistically and statistically, if we get with the wrong person, we don't stay. We don't feel stuck. We leave. That's how life should be. Never get stuck in life. You're not stuck. You are allowed to try something, and if it doesn't work, you're allowed to pivot and go this way. And if that don't work, you're allowed to pivot and go this way. That doesn't work, you're allowed to pivot all the way around and go that way. You try as many chances as it takes to get it right. You know, my mother told me one time, I got to a point where I said, you know what, I don't want to get married again. I don't even know if I want a relationship again. And my mother is like, I don't want to see you by yourself. She said, keep trying as many times as it takes. Yeah, I kind of stopped for a long time, but that's the advice she gave me. Keep trying for as many times as it takes. Sometimes it might take a lot before you find the right person that loves you unconditionally for who you are, how you are, with the makeup off, everything. I didn't take her advice. Kind of wished I had. It's not too late. Mr. Right is there. But I don't know if I want to get married again, but I'm digressing. So let me get back to it. So you are allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to pivot. If you want something different at 40 than you did at 25, go for it. If you want something different at 60 than you did at 45, go for it. If you are still alive, healthy, 70 years old, and you want something that you didn't go for, that you want to go for now, go for it. It's only too late when you're not 6 feet above the ground. When you're 6 feet under is when it's too late. So outgrow your old dreams. Redefine your success. Success comes as long as you are 6 feet above the ground. You can still continually be successful. And let me just say, there's the judge that is handling the Maduro, the president, the leader of Venezuela. That judge is a working judge at 92 years old. And I know a lot of us get to the age of 62 and we think we're too old to work. I don't know where that mentality came from. I don't have that mentality because I think when you keep yourself busy and active in your mind, working is not idle, and you stay healthy. He is 92 years old, still on the bench being a judge. 92. Now, people say all the time when you get 55, 60, when you going to retire? Like that's something you have to do. No, outgrow those old dreams and redefine success and keep going. Never stop. Keep going. Growth means movement, and movement means learning. And when you stop learning is when you'll be done on this earth. Gone. Finito. Because we can always learn. Choosing yourself today doesn't lock you into anything. It liberates you because, like I say, you can always pivot. And don't be afraid to say, oh, that didn't work. I'm doing something else. You know, I moved to Costa Rica. I got there and said, I like this other place better. So I went to the other place. I could do that. So I did that. We spend so much time asking, what if it doesn't work? But let me flip that. What if it does work? What if you become happier? You feel lighter. You finally feel aligned. you inspire someone else to choose themselves over everybody else? What if the joy you're afraid to want is actually waiting for you for your yes? Sometimes the life you want is on the other side of the decision you've been postponing. Let me say that. I got tongue tied. Sometimes the life you want is on the other side of a decision you've been postponing. Going for what you want doesn't require a dramatic leap. Start small, one decision, one boundary, one honest conversation, and one step forward. Ask yourself, does this bring me peace? Does this feel in alignment to who I am becoming? Does this expand me instead of shrink me? Your life doesn't need to make sense to anyone but to you. It just needs you to make sense to you. Needs to make sense to you. So, should you go for whatever you want in life? Heck yes. You should go for what brings you peace, purpose, and joy. You should go for what feels honest. You should go for what allows you to live and not just exist and survive. Life is too short to live it quietly and unhappy, and too precious to ignore in your own heart. Take your time, move with intention, and trust yourself. And remember, you don't have to have it all figured out to begin. Not at all. So, just like that, we've come to the end of today's moment at home with Golden Bronze. Thank you for spending a little part of your day with me. It truly means more than you know. Life doesn't just have to be perfect to be beautiful, and I'm so grateful we get to share these everyday moments together. Wherever you're headed next, take the good energy with you. Stay joyful to yourself, and remember, you're always welcome here. Until next time, keep living, keep smiling, and keep choosing joy. This is At Home with Golden Bronze, and I'll see you soon. I'm Golden Bronze, and good night.